Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
You want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead. If I sit next to you, I'm going to get gonorrhea. It's going to jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into the...
I think you know.
We're such professionals.
We really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
I'm Amy with a Y.
And I'm Amy with an I.
And you're listening to Secular Soup, episode 113. I can't believe we're...
crazy.
It's a lot of episodes. But then I listen to other podcasts, and they're like, we're at episode 572. And I think, how have they not killed each other yet? Like...
It's been touch and go for you. Let's be real.
Right, exactly. How do you get to 500 episodes with the same person? Like
the lack of the same states is what's keeping us alive.
I suppose that could be it. Yeah, that's very true. It's like when you're married and you
if I lived in Minnesota,
live in different
if you were
houses,
in Texas, then
we'd have killed each other by now, probably.
Yeah, I should have known that was a dead giveaway that it was a problem when my dream, like a couple weeks in, was separate queen beds. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. Well, 3 weeks in, like, that's probably a giant red flag.
So,
I mean, I get it. 15 years, 20 years down the line, but 6 weeks in?
Yeah. I mean, I'm horrible. I don't know what to tell you. Everybody else has figured this out by now. Yeah. So we have absolutely nothing to talk about, as usual. If you're a first-time listener, we're winging it. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We had a really good episode last week.
So many notes. I have extensive research and planning.
Same. I spent about 5 minutes fucking around on my phone going, God, there's got to be something interesting to talk about.
Oh my gosh.
It's just, we are late recording, and we're late. We've been trying so hard to get this shit recorded on time and put it out, but we have lives, and so that keeps getting in the way. And
I'm working 60-hour weeks right now, probably through the end of the year, and I feel like a zombie. Like it's the worst feeling. I've worked long hours before. I've worked, I've done, crazy wild shifts and stuff, but I'm now over 27. So it's very difficult to maintain a 12-hour day 5 days in a row.
29 is a hard year.
It's a rough year. It's a rough one.
Yeah.
My almost 18-year-old son just laughs at me.
I have been nonstop covered in glitter for 2 weeks now.
That's hot.
Oh my God. Trying to put all of these crafts
Are you taking pictures for your OnlyFans?
I'm trying to. I assume OnlyFans is like where you put pictures of the crafts you're making up. Is that how that works?
There's probably a place for that. Oh, can we talk about how excited I am that Parler is all porn now?
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
Parler's all porn now?
Pretty much. Because there's no, the whole thing was there's no...
Nobody
cry lib
nobody minding the store, just... It's a free-for-all.
Right, no one's watching, so you can put whatever you want, you can say whatever you want, so all of those terrible races can say whatever they want. It's basically just turned into porn. Because there's no...
Inevitably.
...guidelines, and...
What happens with humans.
I love all those Mormons and all those terrible, conservative people that hair flipped out of there, and they were like, oh, if you want me, I'll be over on Parler. I'm like, okay.
Well, and that's what happens when you leave humans to their own devices. Everything turns into porn. That's just,
especially if all the worst people, out of ever, gather in one place, that's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, they weren't just all
really bad
humans.
Porn,
they were the worst of them.
Ugh.
But really bad is the best.
Yeah,
my favorite thing I've ever watched, because I totally watch it. But my favorite thing I ever watched was there's this couple, and it was trying to be all sexy, bent over in a garage or whatever, I don't know. And she kept falling over, so she had to jump forward. It was still behind, and then the garage door opened. It was like the best thing ever. They were in the. It was. I was watching it, so I was just laughing.
I feel like
I tried to find it again.
Conservative porn must be a lot like conservative comedy, where they're just not good at it, but they think they're really good at. Like they think they're way better than liberals at it, but they're just not, and everybody else is laughing at them behind their backs. Because all of their jokes are basically liberals are so stupid, and that's only funny.
Well,
for
that's the funny thing is they're always like, that liberals are so stupid, but every doctor, scientist, engineer, basically everyone that's like actually has like
any
higher
education at all.
Majority of them are
that?
liberal.
It's all a conspiracy. Somebody on my local newspaper Facebook page has been informing me throughout the morning about the deep state and how afraid I should be of the deep state. And I keep trying to explain to this person, because they, of course, keep coming back with research. Do your own research. You got to research. And I'm like, here's the thing. I'm not going to research it because I'm not making that claim. So it would be like, I told this person, it would be like me telling you that babies are made out of grape juice and you need to go research that. You're not going to, because it's a ridiculous claim and I'm the one making it. It's my job to prove to you that babies are made out of grape juice. Like, do you not? And they just come back with these, like, sheeple or laughing. I need to get off Facebook is what I'm saying. I spend way too much time fighting with people.
I'm in dark mode now. That's fun. So
I haven't done that yet. That seems Instagram automatically put me into dark mode, and I have very mixed feelings about it. They did it without my consent.
Well, I do everything in dark mode. My Messenger's been in dark mode for like years.
Yeah, my Messenger has.
My emails, everything on my computer's dark mode. So I'm excited.
It's weird to me. I don't know. I don't like change. I'm old, and old people don't like change. So
she's well over 27.
I'm so far over 27. Oh my god. So
that's the benchmark of old is over 27.
It really is. It really is. So for like a slightly more serious note though, the reason we couldn't record this week is I so far have had 2 people in the last week that died or were supposed to die, long story, from COVID-19. So I had found out on Wednesday that, or on Tuesday, that one of my cousins, who's in her 50s, she's not old. I mean, if you're 26, then 50s seems old. I get that. But she's just cool as shit. One of my favorite cousins on that side of the family. And she used to babysit me when I remember her babysitting me, and one of my earliest memories is of being on the couch at my parents' house and her sitting next to me trying to get me to say "far out, man." And it makes me laugh every time, because I so vividly remember her being like, "Come on, just say far out, man. Say far out." Anyway, she's super liberal, super awesome. I love her. And on Tuesday, I was informed that she was on a ventilator, and that they were taking her off the ventilator on Wednesday because there was no hope left, and they could only let one person be in the room. And so my uncle had decided that should be her mom, and the 2 of them have been divorced for a long time, but he's like, it should be her mom in the room. Well, that was devastating. So Wednesday, I found out they decided to hold off on that decision. Like somehow she just started responding to the doctor's commands. Like, she could suddenly like move her foot, and she was opening her eyes, and they were like, well, we need to hold off on this decision. And at first, everyone was just like, this is the greatest thing ever. And of course, all my religious relatives, we've been praying, we'll keep
praise Jesus.
But then
Have you prayed the virus away?
Yeah. Like,
why don't you just go to
fuck
the
you and your
instead of
prayer.
each individual
Besides
person?
That, she's not religious, so fuck you and your prayer, but whatever.
I'm saying, if they have that power, they're really using it at
in
the
a very
base level.
Yeah, there's a lot more people
Like,
that can benefit
I found
from
my keys. It's like, really?
Yeah. But, so yeah, we found out that, that they're holding off on it, but at the same time, if she makes it, she's never, ever, ever going to be the same. She's probably never going to live independently. She's probably got a lot of brain damage. I mean, they don't know what the extent of they thought she was completely brain dead at the beginning of last week. Now they're not sure. But
they say that, and then it doesn't always work out that way. I mean, it's not always that way.
It's tough. Like, she's definitely got a very, very long road ahead of her if she could still die at this point.
Well, yeah.
And earlier in the week, last Sunday, one of my mom's friends, who she has worked with for a long time, he died from COVID-19. And he was somebody, he was older. He was in his 70s, but he was also somebody who voted for Trump, watched Fox News.
Was he the guy that shared the building with her?
Yes, that they were going to share the building, but then my mom backed out because she got her. Yeah,
because he was like anti-mask and stuff.
He was anti-mask. Well, and that's the weird thing. He wasn't straight up preaching the anti-mask stuff. He was more just very skeptical of it and very like,
And then he died of COVID.
He died of COVID, and he gave it to. He's gay. He gave it to his husband. His husband was in the hospital for a while.
If he was the old gay guy.
He was, yes. And so his husband got it. His husband had to stay in the hospital for a while, but now he's back at home. He gave it to somebody that he went to. He was going to like estate sales this whole time, and not wearing a mask, or wearing a mask but not wearing it correctly, or he wasn't the person out there going, masks are stupid. Like, he'd wear them, but he didn't quite get the significance of it and how important it really was. And he had told
he knew he had COVID, and he was out there in the world.
He didn't know he had COVID. He didn't. Oh. As soon as he found out he had it, he got sick right away, and he ended up in the hospital, and like. Goodness. And he had a heart condition, so. But my mom is just, you think about it, and there can't even be a funeral. No. And it feels like that person never lived at all. Like they're just gone, and you can't do anything about it, and you can't have a funeral, and that's it. And I'm getting so angry at these people that are just. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's not that, but it's all old people. Well,
you've seen the side-by-side tweets. You've seen the side-by-side tweets of people that are like, they can't take away my right to celebrate. I'm going to, spend time with my family, and then
they're dead.
I hate to break this to you, but my family and I have COVID. It's like, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, and so many people are like, well, I had it and I was just fine, so I don't know.
Yeah, lucky.
Yeah, and
I have a friend that got it 3 times, and she was miserable every time.
Oh,
and it was.
Everyone I know who's gotten it has said it was the worst fucking thing they've ever been through.
Mm-hmm. I have a friend that she feels better, but she's still trying she still can't, like, smell things, really. She still can't taste things.
Yeah. And, you get the wrong person that doesn't have, someone like me that doesn't have a good immune system. Mm-hmm. These people can die. And that's the thing, even if they don't die, like, it's bad enough that people are dying. But so many people are being just so badly harmed physically for the rest of their lives by it. A lot of people, even if, like my cousin, she didn't die. Hopefully she won't die, but her life's never going to be the same. She's never going to be, the person that she was before this. But there's so many people out there going, yeah, but I don't really want to have to wear a mask when I go in Target. And it's just like,
I saw this meme that said, if you refuse to wear a mask in public for your neighbor, don't you ever come over and talk to me about Jesus.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yep. Yeah.
Because you honestly can't do the base minimum thing.
Yeah. Because you don't give a shit. Like, your convenience is more important than a person actually living or dying. And there's a lot of things that kill people that we can't prevent, that just are, you drive a car every day and you're taking a risk and you could die. But this is something.
I hate being in a car. I have such anxiety in a car.
We take precautions, though. We wear seatbelts and we have driving laws and we do things. And this is something that we can prevent other people from fucking dying by putting on a mask and standing away from people. And that's it. Like, it's not that hard. Nobody likes wearing a mask.
I sent you the article about the 41 people that caught COVID in New Orleans because there was a swinger party.
No, you did, and I didn't read it. I just enjoyed all your texts from you and Nikki. So,
Me and Nikki texting back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just
like
crazy.
you didn't need to have a swinger party. You could have lived without a swinger party. I bet they were all.
Do you know how many parties I haven't been to? Like all of them.
Exactly. Yeah, I went to.
We were
craft
joking around
store
though with the gentleman caller. I was like, I'm so glad we changed our weekend plan. Whew.
I feel like letting people in on our text thread with Brent and Nikki would be a good Patreon reward.
Oh my gosh!
Like we'll send you
There's been so many times I'm so tempted to take a screenshot and just like post it because it's just so brilliant. But you
Nikki's
can't even
so
tag
fucking
Nikki.
funny. No,
Yeah.
it's like she won't see it because she's not on social media.
I mean, I
she
tagged
values her
Brentley,
mental
which
health.
is good.
Yeah,
But you know,
Brent's fine. I mean, we all like Brent, but Nikki's the real
Like, come on.
star of that show. Come on.
she's just so fucking funny.
Speaking of which, we are going to be on a podcast-a-thon on
Yeah, we are.
Saturday. We're recording this on
Saturday.
Sunday. With any luck, I'll have this out before that happens. So Saturday, December 12th, I think we're going to be on at 11 p.m. And it is
Yeah,
for...
you still get it out, and then I'll just play around with it, but you still get it out.
Yeah, okay. We'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out because I'm going to practice editing, but I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm going to get it out in time. So you still do that.
Yeah, don't worry. I got your back. I'll be the grown up that's actually making the dinner while she's letting the kid like
I
here.
have-
You make that salad.
I have the
and
fake
yeah.
mixer.
Yeah. And it's got really big colorful buttons on it and
Thank you. I
yeah,
appreciate
no,
that.
we'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Okay.
But yes,
Like
this is
sitting
for
next to your dad with he's playing a video game.
yeah, and
have,
you've
like,
got the fake controller
that's not plugged in.
Yeah. That was my son's whole childhood. It was
Oh,
fantastic.
my kids loved that.
Yeah, gotta
Until
have
they
the
figured out, they're
controller.
like, "Why am I'm hitting
Yeah.
right? Why is the car not going right?" And you're like, "Oh, okay."
Nothing's happening here. I'm trying to hit the.
It didn't last very long. They see through that pretty fast.
They really do. So Atheists of Polk County, which I assume is in
Atheists of Polk
Florida,
County.
I think. I mean, all I know is we got a text from Brent that was like, you should be on this thing. And we were like,
And then we were in all of a
publicity,
sudden we were in a
please.
group chat with
Yeah.
the person who's
with
setting
Sarah
up the
Talk.
speakers.
And we're just like, can we wear our crowns? Okay, good, we're there. So apparently we're staying up late.
Is it a video?
Yeah, it's a video, I think.
Very exciting.
I guess
I
I
will
don't-
get all dolled up.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's video. I guess maybe that's a good question to ask. I just jump into things head first without examining what I'm doing. I don't know if you've noticed
aware.
that about me, but
And I'm not any better, so it's fine.
yeah, I'm just like, what? Attention?
I'm
Please.
usually 2 drinks
Yeah.
in, jumping in
Yeah.
with you, so I'm.
Exactly. Like, give me the attention. Where's the attention? Someone pay attention to me. That's all podcasting
And
is.
then I get uncomfortable. I'm like, oh crap, they're paying attention to me. I need
Yeah.
to go hide.
People are actually watching this? Shit.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's a cruel, vicious cycle. I don't know why I hadn't heard this before, but have you heard the joke about what do you call 3 white men in a room together?
Quarter Cherokee.
A podcast,
Oh.
right?
That's funny.
How have I not heard that joke before? I thought it was great.
Oh no, that's
Where did
8.
this week?
It's 8 white men in a room that's a 1/8 Cherokee
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
or a quarter Cherokee or something because everybody's like, I'm an 1/8 Cherokee. You know. Yeah.
No, you're not.
It's
Although-
a deep cut joke.
I am actually somehow related to Sacagawea. And I'm not entirely sure how, but I have an uncle that does a ton of
You need
genealogy.
some Mormons
and
to do your
it was
background research.
I don't think it was. I don't remember. It was something to do with like her son married a French woman. I don't know. My uncle maintains this huge genealogy database for our family that I knew nothing about until I talked to him last week. This is the uncle who's my cousin's dad who has COVID. But he and we haven't talked forever, and we had this long phone conversation about genealogy, and, you know, it really interests me. It's just not something I've ever really had time to do. But he apparently knows, you know, I come from a long line of illegitimate children, as we all do in America, unless you're Mormon, I guess.
Yes.
So, but he actually had a name for my grandmother's father, which none of us knew who her dad was because her mom was just a pregnant teenager who gave birth to her, and there was nobody on the birth certificate, and her grandparents raised her and told her that they were her parents. And then when she turned 18, they sat her down and said, we're actually your grandparents. Your mom was our daughter.
Shady.
She's kind of a whore, and get out because you're 18 and we're not keeping you any longer. Like, how
you can do
fucked
that?
is that? You can do that, yeah.
Okay, so
Yours
I
is
have,
almost 18, so
right.
you can sit
And
him
then,
down and be
so
like, this is it. You're an adult now. Fuck off. I'm
if
not
I
paying
said
for your
that
shit.
to him, he would just roll his eyes and go and get another plate of food.
Oh, yeah. Mine would laugh hysterically. Mine would be like, good joke, Mom. It's fantastic. Yeah, so anyway, the point is, now that I have this name, now I'm fascinated by I want to try to find the family of this guy.
I want to know the murderer in your family.
See, that's why I was talking to him. I'm like, we have this whole murder mystery going on, and
Yeah. It probably doesn't surprise anyone that Amy's from a line of murderers.
So I am from a line of illegitimate murderers. This again should surprise
Big shock.
nobody.
I actually fell out of my chair and dropped my tortilla. No, I didn't.
Well, so did I talk about this on the show? I don't think I did.
No, you haven't.
Okay,
It's just been in text. It's text thread.
So my mother. Okay, so back up. My son had a massive spinal fusion surgery several weeks ago. Actually, it'll be
It's been a while.
6
It's been
weeks
like 6
next
weeks.
week. Yeah, we're going for the 6-week checkup next week. Anyway, before this happened, my mom had come down to the cities with us because we were about to do the surgery, and we were talking, and she casually mentioned to me that her dad's cousin had murdered his entire family. He had
just in passing.
6 kids. He murdered all of his children, but he did it when his wife went out to have coffee with her friends. So, and then he killed himself. So then she came home to a completely dead family, and I'm just like,
No, she came home to an empty house. If you positive spin on that.
so yeah, I'm like, Mom, she and I are both
terrible.
obsessed with like Dateline. How did you not tell? How have I not heard this before? And she's like, I've never told you that, huh? Yeah, that was
never
like my
told you
dad.
that?
And she's like, I don't know which
That didn't come
cousin
up.
it is.
I'm sorry.
And I said, okay. I said, so this is your dad's cousin. I said, where did this happen? I don't know. Okay. I'm like, do you know, like, even, like, what era was it? Was it, like, the 20s? Yeah, probably. It's like, I need to
Like,
know
oh my God.
everything about this, Mom. And she's like, well, he told me about it, but I guess I never really, you should talk to your dad, because he used to talk to your dad about it. And
with everything. I'd be like, tell me everything.
I need
please.
all of and she had zero information. So
Like, I
then-
did that with my grandpa. I sat down with him one day, and he started telling me stories that my dad was like,
Yeah.
I never knew these things.
But, like, my grandpa's dead. I can't ask him. He died in the 80s. Like, I have to get this information from her. And my mom...
And she's like, not giving you the information.
well,
She
okay.
has nothing.
So my mother had a brain tumor years and years ago. I have a very interesting family. It was...
So maybe the portion of the information that she can't recall anymore.
That's
is
what
that
I'm saying. It came out with the
specifically.
brain tumor. Like, she had a benign brain tumor.
Like,
They did surgery.
everything else, 100%
Yeah.
fully normal recovery, except
This really cool
her
story.
dad's cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, ask your uncles, because she has
Like,
4
I don't know.
brothers,
This is
and-
probably brain damage related. I don't know.
The first thing I did was I texted one of my uncles on that side. My mom has 4 brothers. And I'm like, okay, I just heard the story about Grandpa's
me
cousin
everything.
murdering his whole family. And do you know anything about this? And I need to... He's like, what? What? I've never heard that story before. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, well, go ask, the other uncle. He might know. And I'm like, okay. So I asked him. He's like, oh my God, that is crazy. I've never heard that before. So then I'm thinking,
They're
okay.
all completely useless. at
Well,
this
and my
point.
mom's not a liar. Like, she wasn't making it up. But then I thought maybe
No.
it's like because she had a brain tumor, and maybe it's I don't know. But then,
Poor mom, you just keep blaming her brain. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, brain.
but then my dad backed her up on it, and he used to talk to my grandpa. Like, he's like, no,
Okay, so does he have more information?
So the information that he has is that he's pretty sure it was in Minnesota. And that's it. He's pretty sure it was in Minnesota. So then I'm like,
Wow.
okay, I've got my other uncle on my
Deep
dad's
well
side of the
information
family.
right there.
My uncle on my dad's side of the family, who does genealogy, actually did a whole genealogy thing for my mom's family years ago. So I'm like, okay, he's at least got to know who
How did your
my grandpa's...
uncle on your dad's side of the family do genealogy for your mom's side of the family?
He got bored. He ran out of
Are you
genealogy
guys
to do.
related?
I mean, yeah, he ran out of genealogy on our side, and my mom didn't know a lot about her history because her mom was an illegitimate whore. So
I mean, who isn't? Am I right?
right. So he did it. My grandmother was lovely, and that's a horrible thing to say, but
She was actually like your favorite person. We already know this.
she was like my favorite person.
Yeah, we've already established all of this, which is why
she would laugh
I
if she
love
knew.
illegitimate whores. Yeah.
But no, he's like, well, here's the genealogy charts I have here, because my mom was saying, well, it couldn't have been one of my dad's sisters or brother. It couldn't have been any of their kids because I knew who they all were. But maybe it was
So another illegitimate.
like maybe it was my grandpa's, one of their siblings had kids, and so yeah, I'm talking to my uncle. Like, so my grandpa, his dad. Who were his siblings? And he's like, oh, I'm going to send you this chart. Here's all the people. And I'm like, because if I can find out who his kids were and track them down, then obviously if we have a name, it'll show us, we'll find a newspaper
do some
article,
kind of
surely, that
research
somebody murdered their entire family in Minnesota.
Like, that's not something that just goes unnoticed.
Right?
It's not something you can just...
But until I had that
think
information, I was looking it up, and I'm like, I'm Googling every different combination I can think of
And there are just
murder,
so many of them out there.
family annihilator, murder 6 children. Just don't ever look at my Google search history because the FBI is
Well, as
going
long as you
to.
don't put how to in front of it, you should be fine.
That's very true. It turns out there's actually a Wikipedia list of like family annihilators in the U.S., so
Yeah, that happened to someone my dad worked with too. Like,
yeah, it's fascinating.
yeah, it happens.
But I went through and I found one guy from Minnesota, and it happened.
Well, who was that actor that his wife killed him too? The guy from News Radio, Phil Hartman.
Yep, Phil Hartman. Yeah, his wife was from Minnesota. Coincidence?
Tracks.
I think not.
No, I'm sure it's not.
But yeah, so I found this guy who was like a banker in the 1920s. But he killed his wife too, and he only had 5 kids. But I'm like, maybe this, because if she doesn't remember most of the story, that could be, I don't know. But according to my uncle with the genealogy, he's like, yeah, no, that's not. He said, I've done a little bit of digging on it since you emailed me, and I can't find it in America. I mean, he said if it happened, it was probably in Germany, because that's where my grandpa's family was.
Maybe.
I mean, they were first-generation German immigrants, so I'm like, okay, so now I have to solve a German murder mystery? I don't know how, I don't speak German. I don't know how to do.
I mean, what else are you doing?
It's very
Glitter?
true.
Just
glitter. I mean, I'm covered from head to toe in fucking glitter, so.
I will give you my login so you can also do my work too. We can just
Okay.
have fun with that.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I got lots of. I actually was making decals last night to sell, and they were covered in glitter, and I thought, how am I going to explain to the buyers that there's glitter on these decals that aren't glitter decals? I'm a mess. So yeah, that's I have a murder mystery that nobody can help me
I've been
with.
sewing, and I haven't taken pictures of them. They're finished. Lois, please remind me. I made you your heathen's greetings. I've made it.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah, we'll believe it when we see it. It's,
It's actually really cute. It's done. It's next to me. I haven't had time to take pictures of it because I'm a zombie. I get off work at 6:30 p.m. I've been up since 5:40, and I literally just fall, eat food, fall into bed, and I just wake up again. That's all I do.
Well, if you would pull your bootstraps up a little higher, we could make this thing really, really work. I'm just saying.
And this is the only thing that's keeping me from needing an extra $500 every month. Oh my god.
Yeah, I made 5 COVID-19 Christmas ornaments that I'm going to put on the shop
adorable.
later. They are adorable.
So this is completely unrelated. We bought Jackbox 7. I think it's Jackbox 7, the latest one. And we were playing this game with the kids. It was like a drawing game, and it was a big hit at spring break, and the one that won was the COVID I drew.
Oh my god. Nice. Yeah.
So we own it, and then we've got to figure out a way to play it like with everybody somehow. I don't know how to do that.
Families always getting in the middle of everything. This is why I don't play video games. I just don't.
Well, this one's fun. It's like categories and win, lose, or draw all combined. It's fun.
Yeah. I've been trying to think of a fun game. Like for Christmas, we're not going to get together, at least with my side of the family. So I thought it'd be fun to have like a Zoom get together where we all had the same game that we could play through Zoom. But I don't know what a good, like an actual physical game.
We tried that Jackbox on Steam before that I have.
Yeah, but I'm talking like an actual, like a card game
like
or something. Game. Something like that where we can...
So my brother was telling me that he has this poker game that he plays over Zoom with a bunch of judges and lawyers and stuff. And it's on an honor system, and so we were joking about it. We were like, how do we all have 4 aces? Like, this is super weird.
And they're all judges? Nice.
All judges and lawyers, yeah.
Perfect.
And he was like, no, he was just joking. He was like, no, actually, we play it on our phones on an app, and then they're on Zoom shit-talking. Because it's replacing their, like, weekly
so like
card game or whatever.
12-year-olds do with PS4.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
So basically somewhere in Texas, there are a bunch of judges and lawyers playing cards and shit-talking on Zoom.
Do they know they could monetize this? I'm just saying,
there would
pay to
be too many
this.
Disclaimers. The stack of paperwork that they'd have to sign.
That's true. I feel like a Discord channel would not be out of reach for them.
No.
I don't
know.
It
would be hilarious. I would love to be like a fly on the wall, like in those things.
Yeah.
They've asked me to join one of the back pre-COVID. There was like a poker game going on, and I was supposed to be there that weekend. And my brother was like, "You should join me. We're going to judge, I don't know, Watkins' house or whatever." And it's, he's hosting, and we'll have like, local beer and whatever. I'm like, okay, that sounds fun. And then something came up, and I couldn't make it that weekend, and so I've never.
Damn it! You could think of how much you could have stolen from that dude's house. Judges have a lot of money.
Do they?
I think they do.
Oh, they do if they don't have a drug problem, because the only judge I knew had a drug problem. Okay,
well,
yes, they probably do.
A drug problem is going to eat up your money no matter what profession you're in. Even if you're just a purveyor of glittered items, then a drug problem is going to get you in the end. So, I don't know. So, yeah, if anybody knows...
Because I've been trying to pick up some kind of habit during pandemic, but I can't really afford anything.
I managed to drop a habit, and I'm impressed. Like, I don't smoke anymore, and I can't... Although, I had to do a Zoom meeting with both of my doctors last week. So I have a regular doctor, and then I have a gastroenterologist. So I did the one with the regular doctor, and it was just a yearly, did all my blood work, told me all my results, just heart and lungs, that kind of thing. And... we chatted and everything was fine. Well, then 2 days later, I did a video visit with my gastroenterologist, and he's like, so I see your notes from your meeting on Tuesday. It says that you started smoking again. And I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, no, that's the doctor. Yeah, let me go back and look. I think she wrote it in here. And I'm going, we didn't even talk about smoking. He goes back and he reads it. And she had written had stopped smoking but started again. And I really didn't. I want to start smoking again, trust me, but I have not smoked. I haven't even cheated. And we sat there going, why would she make it like it's. And I think it's because
it was probably an autofill thing.
I think it was. And I think it's because you do like an e-check-in where they ask you about your smoking history. And you have to fill it in every fucking appointment, even if you've done it 700 times. And every time it makes you enter, if you were a smoker, like how many packs a day you smoked and what your quit date was and all that shit. And maybe because I had to re-enter how many packs a day it was, she must have saw that and just put in, started smoking. So I'm just like, I promise, I'm not smoking. I'm not lying about it. I really want to smoke.
No.
If I'm going to get accused of it, I want to actually be able to do it. So,
right? Seriously.
None of my friends will share their cigarettes. They're all being jerks about it. God.
I'm glad.
I was listening to Unapologetics, and I think I heard either Brent or Nikki inhale something.
Probably.
And I was just like, oh, I want a cigarette so much right now. Like,
Well, he vapes.
he does vape. Yes.
I've seen it.
He vapes a lot.
Well,
but,
so
yeah.
Gentleman Color's down to 0 nicotine.
Really?
He's still vaping, but he's down.
Yeah, my husband is down to like 1 milligram. Like, he still mixes the 0 and the 3.
On like the 0 whatever. He was like 0.4 whatever, and the next batch he ordered was all 0. And like, okay.
Yeah, but my husband's convinced that once he's down to the 0 milligrams, then he'll quit vaping. And I'm like, that's
really
not how.
so.
That's not how it works, though. You're addicted to the motions.
Yes, I just really hope so, because if he wakes up in the middle of the night, he turns over, I'm like, are you sleep vaping? Like, what?
Oh, yeah. My husband vapes until the minute he falls asleep. You can just, like, and it's awful, and it smells weird, and, like, it's not cigarette smoke, but it's just...
His smells good.
God.
He has good smelling ones.
Like, you just gotta stop. Just stop.
He has good smelling ones, because I'll tell him, like, oh, I don't like that one. He was like, okay. And so he'll get, like, good
Oh,
smelling.
no. Mine's a creature of habit and has one kind that he will use. And I'm just like, dude, you realize that even once you get to 0, you're gonna keep doing this, right? No, I'm not. Nope. No, I'm not.
Well, it's funny, because I'm like, are you sleep, baby? He's like, no, I have to pee. I'm like, okay, then, you know.
You can be addicted to doing a thing without a drug involved. Like, even if there's no nicotine in your system, you can be addicted to the thing that you are doing. I'm just saying.
So yeah, I was joking on that. I was talking to my brother, and I was joking to him. I'm like, I need to pick up some kind of habit, and he was like, well, we were joking about long story, like a lawsuit that's pending, and I was like, what if somehow from this lawsuit I also got lung damage from the tobacco industry in the 90s, and I need to jump onto that class action lawsuit.
Perfect.
And he was like solid. He was like, are you also addicted to opioids? I'm like, yeah, obviously.
100%.
Yeah, so we're just like talking about...
Did you also get one of those defective IUDs?
Obviously.
And with the mesh lining around it?
So I had a defective... You've heard my IUD story. Like, I told it on here.
Oh, I've
It's
heard.
terrible.
It is the worst thing ever.
It's the worst. Why did I not say anything? Why did I not complain? Why did I not... Like, it was bad.
Go back to, if you're listening to this and you want to hear the story,
do it.
go
Do
back
not
to,
do it.
I
It is
do believe it's
terrible.
called Healthcare Sucks. I think that's the episode. I could be wrong.
It's a bad story. Like,
Nathan,
it-
podcast
just-
historian, he would know.
to warn you off.
It's
I
real
got
bad.
an IUD that they put in incorrectly, and it got embedded in my cervix, and a doctor just removed it.
God, no. It's horrible.
So
I don't know how you're still with us, frankly.
I don't know how I had another kid after that.
Neither do I. That's horrible.
Or two kids. I had 2 kids after that.
You're just a
Holy
baby-making
cow.
machine. That's what Mormons are.
I was Mormon. I tell people I was raised as like I was just raised to breed. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
And then I talk to people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I didn't have any babies by choice, or I only had one baby," and I didn't have that choice. Like, I didn't
Nobody
have that
presented
choice.
you with that as an option.
And then I was, even in my marriage, like, if I started doing anything that looked independent, I was pregnant again.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
would love to give a shout out to all of you fine people who are childless by choice out there. You are making the right decision.
Super envious.
Don't let anybody give you
I mean, my
shit
kids-
about it.
My kids are great. They're good people.
Yeah. But it's not like we need kids.
They're really funny. They're getting really funny.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
My teenagers
It's interesting
getting pretty
seeing them become
funny.
like... Well, because I have all teenagers now. And
Yeah.
they're becoming like...
Actual people?
But I had... Yeah. I'm not even making coherent thoughts anymore.
It's like
yeah, they're
they're
actual
actual
people.
people.
They're getting really funny. I had to have a conversation with my 18-year-old, almost 18-year-old on Friday, though. Or Thursday, because he was doing this, he was talking about this conversation he had with his friends, and he fell into, like, this vocal cadence that could be derogatory.
Ooh.
And so I had this conversation with him about how, I explained code switching and how it happens sometimes, but if you do it to an extreme that it's like vocal blackface almost.
Yeah.
And I told him that it was not a nice or appropriate thing, and it's, I was like, it's appropriation, and it's not a good thing, and you can be seen as being discriminatory and mockery.
Right.
And he got super, super mad in the moment. And then we had a good text conversation, and it was all worked out and fine. But
yeah, we have good. My
didn't think I had to have that conversation with my teenager, but I did.
Well, you'd be surprised how many. Mine seems to be growing into a decent human being. We have had tons of conversations about racism and sexism and all that stuff.
Pretty much the only thing I want to do is don't be an asshole.
Just don't be a dick. Well, I feel bad because my 10-year-old, who is just lovely and adorable, has suddenly become really, I don't want to say obsessed, but he seems a little preoccupied with getting washboard abs. And I don't know how to handle this because part of me is like, I want to encourage health. Like, yeah, you should be using the treadmill more and getting up and like, it's winter in Minnesota. He sits all day. That's probably not great, right? So
that's pretty much all I do.
I want to encourage that and encourage the eating healthier and but I also don't want a 10-year-old boy to have a complex about his belly fat. So it's a tough parent.
That's a tricky one.
I did tell him, I'm like, well, if this is something you want to do, I said sit-ups. Do sit-ups are the best thing for,
and planks.
For your belly.
Planks are good too.
Yeah, I said do those if you want to do those. I said, but I don't want you to think that there's something wrong with you.
And not a full sit-up, actually, more like just a crunch. Just like the thing where you hold it. Yep. Like you bring your legs in and just do the hold.
Yeah. And I was like, just so you know, there's not anything wrong with you the way you are. He's like, I know, Mom, I know. I'm like, okay, I'm just saying, I don't, body image issues.
I've never had washboard abs.
Me neither. It's never happened. Never. It's never going to happen. I don't think I've ever even dated anyone with washboard abs. I don't think I've ever seen any up close.
I have. I have.
Well,
you've seen pictures.
Mm-hmm. Or yeah, I've never. Maybe I have back in my young.
And
drunk days.
The only reason I stuck around is I was like, man, you're just so pretty. Why are you such an asshole?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with staying
more.
for pretty.
I get it. I understand. I get it.
I have been there. You're a total dolt, but you're so pretty. I can't help it.
Because I was just out of the marriage. I was like, man, this guy.
You look so good.
And he sent me a picture of his COVID weight. I'm like, still not. Like, whatever. Yeah. Did you have to include the penis in the picture? But okay, whatever. He's like, oh, look at my belly. I'm like, that's what you want me to look at.
Oh my God. So this week was the second trimester of school that started, and we've been doing distance learning
trimester
the whole time. Yeah, we have trimesters here instead of, which is exactly the same as a semester, but I don't know.
We do 9 weeks.
They call it a trimester. So I had him signed up just for one class. This is my 10-year-old, because we had decided just to homeschool. Like the more I've read about homeschool and unschooling.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk my senior into just finishing off on like online virtual school because he's failing. He's going to fail his senior year.
Mine's not even going to do, like, I realized unschooling is something we just fell into with my teenager by not knowing what the fuck we were doing, because we pulled him out of school in 8th grade because of his anxiety issues, and we tried the online school thing, and it was still just making him absolutely a mess. And I had like a whole year where I'm like, fuck it, we're just not doing anything. Like, we all need to recuperate from the stress of the last 8 years, and having a child who is having a panic attack every single day of his life, usually twice, like that, it was a huge amount of stress on all of us. So for like a solid year, I was just like, fuck it, do whatever you want. And as time went on, I found that he was kind of naturally learning about things that were interesting to him. He would go on these deep dives about important things that I wouldn't think to do a deep dive on. And so I've been reading more and more about unschooling, which is exactly what it sounds like. And the more I read about it, the more I just get really, I don't know, I think about the way that we do school and how stressful it is, and it makes me angry.
It's ridiculous.
We've decided that it's okay, not even okay, but it's the way it should be, that kids should be stressed out for their entire childhood, and that's what's best for them, because they need to memorize facts. It's not even that we need them to be educated, smart people. We need them to memorize facts. And so because of that, we're going to take their whole childhood and make it full of stress and anxiety and
just nonsense.
Doing things they don't want to do all day long, every day. Like, it's just, why? Why are we... And
it's ridiculous.
Like, sure, everybody wants their kid to be educated, but how many people do you know who graduated high school and are still fucking idiots,
Like everybody I went to high school with?
Right? Like, graduating high school doesn't mean that you suddenly became educated and smart. It means you figured out how to get through the system.
Until I was an adult. And even college the first time around, because I went to college right out of high school.
Yeah.
That didn't do much of anything to me.
No.
It wasn't until I went back at 28, which is weird because I'm 27.
Right.
It wasn't until I went back to school at 28 and then got my own college degrees on my own terms that I actually felt like I was an educated person.
Because
and I was
wanted to do that.
a grown-up. And it was on my terms.
Yeah, and that's, to me, that the only time you learn anything is on your own terms.
And then learning on the job, learning in the world, reading on my own, that's what's actually helped me. That's what you be an idiot.
Yeah, like your kids need to know how to seek out information so they can figure out what's true. The important thing is to suss information too. Like you need to know how to discern between what's factual and what's not.
Credible.
That's the biggest skill kids now need, because they have access to
so much information,
all the knowledge in the world on their own. They can learn literally
Google Scholar
anything they want.
Is something I taught kids know about is Google Scholar.
Wait, what?
So
that's a thing. Google Scholar.
Yeah, you look up Google Scholar. It's all peer-reviewed articles.
Okay, good to know. I was
a moderator for anti-alternative medicine Facebook mom groups back in the day. It was Crunchy Skeptics. So it's moms that are kind of like you, like you're an unschooler, you're a little kind of like
I'm kind of a hippie,
side,
but I still like science.
Kind of hippie, but you vaccinate and you believe in science.
Right.
And there was a whole Facebook group back in the day.
Oh, I need to find
Skeptics,
those people.
And I was a moderator for them back in the day, but I don't know if I'm still in it anymore. I don't know.
Now that I've been officially doing the unschool thing, I'm like, am I a hippie now? Because I feel like I'm really like this is kind of a hippie movement.
There's a whole group of people because I made my own food. I made my daughter's clothes.
Total hippie.
I did all of that stuff. Yeah, but then I wanted to do diapers, but
no thanks.
No. But yeah, I nursed my daughter until she was 4. Like that's
you were a huge
my
hippie,
mom was like, my mom was like, if they're asking for it, then they're too old for it. I'm like, no, if they're asking for it, they're thirsty. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
but that was her thing. Is like 12 months maybe. If they, the second they know what they want, then they're too old for it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
no,
it's literally the same thing. Like this
totally
whole year
fine.
You've been, yeah.
No,
because they wean themselves. That's another thing is they wean themselves.
And so the thing with my son with the science class, I had him in one science class for the past trimester through the school district.
Well, because there's lab stuff that you can't do at home, really.
Right, and because I personally knew the science teacher that was doing it, and she was my older son's science teacher, and she's fucking amazing. And so half of it was just I want him to be able to learn from her and interact with her and do all this stuff, and which was awesome, and he really likes her, but it right away turned into, you need to be in this spot at this time to sit through this series of talks, and then you need to go to this website to do this assignment, and then go to that website to do that assignment, and then do this And it just got to be like, oh God, so it's more of a chore in my life now, basically, because I have to make sure he's sitting in that spot at that time to hear that lecture, to then go to that website to complete that task. And when you look at the assignments and the tasks he's completing, you're just kind of like, what's the worst that could happen if he did not have this information right now? Like, really nothing. He would be fine. And of course I want him to learn about science, but he asks questions about science every single day. He's all of a sudden really interested in birds, just birds in general. He wanted to know the other day what happens to food when it gets to your stomach.
Not real?
Like,
is that
exactly? Well,
he's
he's writing a thesis on how birds aren't real, and I think it's going to be big on YouTube.
I think he's onto something.
But yeah, I sat down with him and we watched a couple of YouTube videos on how the digestive system works, and I was able to explain what Crohn's disease is, and he retained that information because it was interesting, and we did it in a way that he wanted to do it. Whereas all those assignments he was clicking through, he was just figuring out how he could really quickly click through a program. That's all he learned.
That's how I do all of my HIPAA updates.
Yeah, that's how everybody does all their HIPAA updates. I used to work at a place where I did everybody else's training for them because it was time consuming, and it was kind of like...
So in my job, I have to get HIPAA certified every 3 months.
It's Jesus. Yeah, that is ridiculous. But yeah, think about like what you need in the real world to get along as a human. You need to know how to learn
geometry.
Things. That's it.
I'm telling you right now, no one needs to know proofs or theorems.
You just need,
unless you work as a consultant for like a construction firm or something.
And if that's something you're interested in, then you need to know how to make that happen. Like if my son wants to be a video game programmer, I can tell him, okay, so how do we make that happen? Do you need to go to college? Do you need to do this?
Yes.
Do you need, and if you do need to go to college, what's it going to take to get you there? What tests do you need to take? And if it's a goal that he wants to achieve, and he's going to put his time and energy into it, then great, he can do it. He'll figure it out because it's something he wants to do.
Well, my senior he's struggling because he's afraid he's going to fail.
Yeah.
And I've talked to him about pulling him out and putting him on K-12, like virtual school or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think I just want to study for my GED. And my first instinct was like, oh, no, don't do that. And then I was like, why not?
Yeah, why not? I told my son that too. I'm like, you know what? If you want to get your here's what a GED is. If you want to do that, here's how you do it.
I was like, it really doesn't hurt you very much because you just go to community college anyway and you're fine.
Yeah, well,
and then everybody looks at your community college.
Well, you think about when you ask people, why do you need like a high school education or why do you need a high school diploma? Well, you need it to get into college. Okay, maybe it's not necessarily true. You actually don't need one to get into college. But when you do go to college, they retrain you on everything you have learned in high school.
That's where you actually learn.
That's where you learn shit.
Like when you actually sit in a class with a professor, they'll tell you everything that you never knew.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're not going to trust that your high school taught you anything. You're not recalling any of that information you learned in high school, other than how to write a paper. Beyond that,
even then, my degrees are science. I had to reteach myself APA, manner of writing, which is third person removed.
Yeah,
and I didn't know how to do that, so.
And that's something there's a book about that you can look up and figure out how to do. You don't, I don't know.
No, you go to Night Site and you use that to do your citations in APA style or whatever style, and you're good. You're good to go.
Well, I mean, I was old when I went to college.
Or the Purdue Owl, it gives you pointers.
We had to just have books when I was in college.
I used websites.
It was real weird. But yeah, I'm probably offending every teacher out there right now. I love teachers. I love your profession. I feel bad for what teachers are forced to do now, which is
especially right now.
Force feed.
They're like double, triple timing.
They're spending so much time being underappreciated and doing tasks that don't.
And they're dealing with the biggest dicks. Like these kids are not nice. Well, and then they go in and talk to their parents, and their parents are like, my baby's my precious angel child.
Well, and when you think about it, like all these, especially our district went to all distance learning recently because it turns out everybody in town's getting fucking COVID because nobody will wear a fucking mask.
Even though we're in a hotspot, and they're taking away virtual, actually.
Nice. most of us here
anyone that has
graduated
any
from
bad
high
grades-
school, and yet we still don't wear masks. Because apparently we didn't learn how things work, even though we all have high school diplomas. Anyway, but no, I think about, like, how do you there's kids that haven't logged on in 6 weeks. Well, okay, their parents are both working and they're children. Do you really expect children to have the same level of commitment to their education? I'm like, what kid, if given the option, is going to be like, yep, I would love to write a paper on that. Let's do it. No. My parents aren't home.
Been me,
I'm playing video games.
Really nerdy kid.
It could have been me.
I would have absolutely done that because
Okay.
I was like front of the class nerd.
There's a lot of kids that would do it, but there's also a lot of kids that are just like,
None of my children.
like, can I play my
Maybe my
Nintendo
middle
Switch
kid.
right now, or should I log into
Yeah.
this fucking thing? Like, what choice do most kids make? And it's not because they're terrible people, it's because they're children. And that's what children do. But then teachers are so stressed out because they're having to account for attendance for all of these kids. And it's just, oh my God, it's such a shit show.
It really
I don't know. It's a shit show for everybody. I feel bad for everybody
my friend's
involved.
daughter's district, they have one teacher for every age group. One. Like all the third graders have one teacher.
Yeah.
All the first graders have one teacher.
Yep.
Mine, like my kids, they had a screen in their classes and they were in the actual class with the other students that they were. So when they joined in-person school, they were in the class that they were in.
Right. Yeah, that's a cool way to do it. And
But like the one for the district, that means she has like 37 or 40 something kids. Like that's insane.
oh yeah, that's how they did it with ours too. They have like one fifth grade science and math teacher, so she's the one responsible for teaching
That's
all the
just
fifth
crazy
graders
to me.
science and math. When in the real world, they have like 4 different teams, where they split the kids up into these different teams, and it's to me it seems so unfair to ask teachers to figure this out on their own, parents to figure out what they're doing, and kids to figure out what they're doing, all because we have to get those fucking test scores done. If we don't get the test scores, the world explodes, and if my child doesn't learn what a proper noun is by the time they are this age, then everything's just going to go to shit,
So
and they're
my
going to be a
kids have been
failure.
in a really good school, and my daughter can't spell, like at all.
Oh, fuck no.
And when I
My
correct her
kids can't.
spelling, she gets really offended by it. I'm like, no, but that's not how the word is spelled.
You know what, though? My
So
10-year-old, oh, he's such a nerd. He actually asked me to write some spelling tests for him because he is kind of a by-the-book kid, and he's not and I'm like, all right, I'll come up with some spelling. And he's actually not terrible at it. Both my kids have figured out how spell check works. And say what you will about spell check. I mean, it shows you what the correct spelling of a word is, and maybe you retain that information. And yeah,
I use voice to text if I don't know how to spell a word,
I do that too.
and I say the word.
Or I Google
Like,
that shit.
I can't spell guaranteed. I can't spell it.
I
don't know how to
can.
spell it.
I can't
so
spell
I have
definitely.
to say that all the time.
I have a few words that I never
one I can
ever
spell.
I can't ever spell definitely correctly, ever. I can always spell guaranteed. I can't spell accommodate. I always forget if there's one C or two C's and one M or two
There's
M's.
2 C's.
Like, I'm never going to know how to spell it
Yeah.
correctly. I'm always going to have to look it
That's
up.
fine.
I've given up on it. So yeah, anyway, now that I've pissed off everybody who loves the public school
Yeah, we
system,
should probably
we should
wrap it up
probably wrap
anyway.
this up. If you are a homeschooler out there, or an unschooler,
Well done.
let us know, I guess. Tell us what your experience is.
Sure, we'll totally check that email.
I feel like we should let people know how they can get a hold of us and shit, but truthfully,
Okay.
They're not gonna get an
Secular
email.
Soup Pod, Secular Soup Podcast. Just Google us. We're
just
everywhere.
Google it. It's not that hard. Join us.
It's easier to go on Patreon and just go on there and just send us money.
Yeah, Patreon's really easy. I did ask Rich if he could send us some extra money for nail polish, because Dell has this fabulous nail polish that I'm very jealous of. And
What is it? Halo Taco? Hollow Taco?
it's magnetic, and it looks very spacey. Like I can't even
Who is it?
It's Dell on Earth.
No, I know.
Yeah.
The nail polish.
Oh, the brand. I don't know. I can't remember the brand. She says
Have
it
you
in the
looked up
post. so
Hollow
go look at it.
Taco?
No, I have not.
They have videos, and it is like the funnest stuff.
I'm gonna have to look. I just need more nail polish, but I've been
Hollow Taco? I don't know, something like that.
I've been so entrenched in glitter for a month that
I found out about it
can't
from
even-
Nicole, who's the one that came up with the blueberries and tomato soup thing.
Oh.
Our friend Nicole.
It's true what they say about women. We really do love nail polish. That is an absolutely
My nails are
correct
rose
stereotype.
gold right now. It's true.
My nails look like shit, and I'm not happy
My
about it.
toes are teal.
but- Yeah.
Gentleman caller's toes are teal because, I was like, you take your shoes off in this house, I paint them.
Yeah. I got my sons both, well, mainly my younger son. He let me paint his toenails up till about 9, and then now he won't let me do it anymore. But he's like, yeah, let's all get a pedicure.
My kids take their shoes off. I'm like, do you want me to paint your toes? And they're like, sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no, but I give them a choice.
Oh, every time I paint my nails, I'm like, hey, want me to paint your nails? I do it when I'm dyeing
Yep,
my hair,
same.
too. Want your hair dyed? They never take me up on it. So yeah,
so look us up.
this has been a fascinating all over the place episode. We will,
It's actually pretty good.
I mean, everybody's learned what a fucking hot mess my genetic pool is.
I thought that was a fun story to bring up.
So it is a fun. I just can't remember who's heard it or not. I'll keep everybody posted.
think
If I
we talked
find
about
out
it
who the
here.
murderer is, I will let you know. But fun fact, my husband also has a murdering ancestor from Germany who was actually
Interesting.
known to have murdered his wife and then fled to America to escape the charges. So my poor kids are just...
Interesting. They're fucked.
They're doomed. They're going to do something horrible. I just know it. But yeah, we should wrap this up, and then we'll come up with some more content for you later. Check us out on this podcast-a-thon this weekend. I'll put it in the show
County
notes.
Atheist.
Yeah, I'm like, where can I put that where people will find
It'll
it?
be
That's why
there
we
in
have show
our
notes.
secret soup talk group.
Yep.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, join
We'll
the
probably
secret
post
soup
something on
talk group.
Instagram.
Nobody's joined that thing in forever, and it's fun. Like,
I know.
we
it
have
is
fun over in Secret Soup Talk. Get on Facebook.
We haven't really done much in there lately, but
Yeah, it's fun though.
every now and then there's stuff going on.
Whenever I have a random thought, I'm like, is this a good thought for the Soup Talk group or for this other group
Me
or
too.
for that group? And sometimes it's Soup Talk. So, yeah.
Usually it's soup talk for me. That's where I post all my random shit.
Yeah, it's fun.
So,
People
yeah.
like it. All right, well, we
It was
will
good talking to you.
see you next time. And I think that's it. Bye.
Bye.
That's the noodle soup rag.
So once again, it is time to shout out to our wonderful patrons. I apologize for the weird ending of this episode. Like, it's called the Minnesota Goodbye, which if you don't know about that, you should look it up. It's where we in Minnesota can't ever really say goodbye, so we just keep talking. Like, something will come up and we'll have a conversation about that, and then pretty soon it's like 6 hours later and we're still at this person's house. It's a true actual thing. Ask anybody from Minnesota. Anyway, so Amy and I had decided to trade off reading the patrons, but I am going to do it because she is a busy bitch lately and just is not able to record extra stuff. So I shall read the patrons. If you want to join us on Patreon, go to patreon.com/secularsoup and become a patron. We have some wonderful prizes and awards for patrons. We do every episode shout outs to people who pledge at $6.66 a month or more, which is our Devil's Chili level. Those patrons are Lois, April, Schmistina, Paul, Life in the Left Lane, Natalie, Assist the Georgia Runoff, good name, Maddie, and Nuggin. So, and I think Andy too, but god damn it, Patreon it's a very weird setup and it's not user friendly, and it fucks around with Andy's membership for some reason. Like, he actually pays a certain amount and it keeps him in a different thing. So anyway, hi Andy, thanks for listening. We appreciate you. At the $10 a month level, you will get a personalized soup bowl made by yours truly, probably with a little bit of glitter residue on it, just because I'm covered in glitter from crafting, and it's gotten on everything. I can't help it. So anything I touch has glitter on it from now until probably the middle of January, if I had to guess. But At any rate, you will get a bowl with your name on it, handmade by me. It'll have some special little, I don't know, inside jokey type things on it, whatever I can think of. Those patrons are Renee, Elven Engineer, Verlaine, and Wendy, and our 35th favorite, Rich. I mean, I'd bump it down to 34, but he doesn't want to buy me new nail polish, so sorry, Rich. And as always, we have our good friend Itchy and Scratchy want you to please support the Secular Coalition for America and Camp Quest, also known as Freethinker 215. We appreciate you so much and the effort that you put into changing that all the time so that you can give shout-outs to all of these organizations. You are the VIP of the Atheist Patreon world, just saying. We've also got our premier level, which is our blueberry dessert soup level, $20 a month or more. And we've kind of had the same group in this tier for a while now. They need some new competitions. So, you know, if you have a lot of money, like if you're a judge or something and you wanted to throw a whole bunch of money our way, you couldn't find a better cause than two women who ramble on podcast because they don't have enough to do, I guess. So our $20 a month patrons are Ashley, who's our favorite patron, who's been with us forever, and we just love her so much. Thank you, Ashley. Randall, who is also amazing and great, but he's no Ashley. Just saying. And we have, I always felt disappointed that Joe got tied down to a man. Yeah, I get that if we're thinking of the same Joe. That was a terrible end to that story. So, with ya. And we've got Just John from now on. I don't know if that intentionally rhymes, but it does rhyme, and that pisses me off. So, get your shit together, Willis. Just saying. Don't make rhymes. It's not cool. But he is our top donor, so I've got to give him a little bit of respect. Thank you, Just John from now on, for being our premier patron, top patron. I appreciate it. See, and now I'm going into the Minnesota Goodbye, which is like, I should wrap this up now. I have no more patrons to talk about. I've got no more business to attend to. It's cold in my basement. I should go upstairs where it's warmer. I could start making dinner. I'm hungry. I have things to do. But I can't find a good way to end this segment. So I just keep talking. And it's like a sickness. I'm just saying. I apologize that we did not have any bonus patron-only content this week. Usually Amy and I record a little bit extra and we give that just to the patrons. It's tons of fun, but we didn't do it this week. So instead, I am going to give you a little recording that my 10-year-old made as I was editing the last episode, the Thanksgiving episode, which you have to listen to if you haven't. It is so good. He was interested in how the editing software worked, and he was watching how I was cutting things together and isolating vocal clips and doing all that stuff, and he really wanted to do it himself. And so once I finally finished the episode, I let him play with the audio that was still sitting there, and he figured out how to do shit super quickly, like children do. It's amazing to me how kids can like pick up a video game and know how to play it in 2 seconds, but he did the same thing with this. He figured out how to rearrange the audio to make it go backwards and make the volume level weird and just did all this shit. So he made a little vocal clip out of our Secular Soup content, and he decided to name it Hell because it sounds like you're in hell. So if you're a patron, you'll get to hear that right after this. It's not super long, but it's fun. So if you want to hear it, become a patron for as little as $1 a month. That's, I mean, truly $12 for the whole year. And I do think Patreon is rolling out a yearly subscription type deal. So we'll definitely do that if we can figure out how to get our shit together and take care of it. I think it would be cool to just have a once a year $10 a year or something like that. That makes it better than that feeling of commitment that people have to do for every month. I get it. I don't like commitment either. So Minnesota Goodbye over. Have a great week. We will see you next time. Stay tuned for Hell if you're a patron. If not, thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks to all of you motherfuckers who put up with the Amieys droning on week after week. If you enjoy their delightful bitchcraft, please follow them on all of the social medias and send them all of your money on Patreon or PayPal. You can find them on these platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard. If you want to bitch with other fans about the show, join the Secret Soup Talk Facebook group. If you want to tell Amy and Amy to fuck off personally, you can send an email to secularsouppodcast@gmail.com, although it may go unanswered. Please rate and review the show on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, text someone right now. Tell your friends. As always, we'll leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular soup greed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and faux. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.
That's the best thing I think about COVID is people just they don't expect me to answer my door anymore, which is
because I don't
awesome.
like it. Except for pizza. It's weird. The pizza people still stand there and wait for you to open your door.
Ours
It's
do
like,
too.
I know
even
the
when
pizza's there.
even when I put like instructions, like leave it at the door.
Go away.
They stand there.
We even put a chair in front of our door. We're like, set it on the chair. It's fine.
Yeah.
I really need time to be able to like really have my breakdown that I've been putting off.